Oh my gosh. I'm going to get started. What?
Okay, I'm just going to give you a little introduction. So
Now I can't go back.
basically, I want you to.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, it's all good. Okay, so you're a freelance writer,
Yes.
and so you've come to the site ideally like looking for like reputable freelance work, something that you get paid for,
Yes.
and work that is it's generally for financial writers. So you're a freelance financial writer. So the first thing that you see, so you found this page, I guess through Google, and just by looking at it, if you can kind of tell me what you see, what you
Get started.
things are, and if you wanted to learn more about the service before kind of committing more of your time, where would you go?
I would probably go to, I guess, freelance writers in the top in the menu, or I'd see if the freelance writers in this section is clickable, which it is not.
And feel free to scroll around too.
Yeah, there we go. It's below the fold pretty accurately, so it's not immediately apparent. So company statement, usually I don't care. Checking out how it works would be good. Need more info before signing up. My issue with this is that get started is such a large call to action. It's all caps. It is right below the header image, and it's above financial advisors and freelance writers, though that may be because most of this is just scratch. That's why it's so strong to call out. So I without you suggesting scroll, I probably wouldn't. The other thing is there's nothing on the site that continues below the fold. So for example, if it was like that.
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be.
That's how it's supposed to be. If it was like that, then I'd scroll down and I'd find this.
Okay.
So sitting here as it is, since it's my first time, I would just immediately go to get started.
Okay.
Okay, let's get started now. So, are you a financial advisor? No, I'm a freelance writer. Oh, they immediately email, password, and confirm password. Read the terms and services. Where are the terms and services? Where would I find that?
They're there. Just
Yeah, we
not
can't
clickable.
answer your question.
Oh, they're not
That's
clickable? Alright. So, the terms of service aren't like highlightable or clickable. I mean, there's no reason not to click terms of service because they're not binding. So, I mean, I'd just enter this and I'd click that. Again, this is kind of below the flow. It kind of breaks it because I'm being asked to join, and it's like, are you sure you want to join? Do you want to add? It's like, by the time I've noticed that, if I wasn't being so perceptive, I probably would have put submit already. And I definitely would not connect with Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Facebook, I deactivate quite often. I only bring it back if people are doing something or for school projects. Like it's not something that I use personally. I just have one. Twitter, I don't use at all, and I don't think of Twitter as a professional platform. There's no nuance. It's just people shouting into the void. And Google Plus, it's more popular than it was before because of YouTube, but I would not connect that because my Google Plus profile is connected to YouTube, and that's like, YouTube is the only social media service that I use, and I use it for leisure, and I don't want any employers following my Google Plus profile to see all the, edutainment and philosophy videos that I watch. So the only one that I would do would be LinkedIn. So assume I've done all this and submit. Upload. So I would upload a profile picture. Now I'm being welcome. This is X.
You're X.
I'm X. Welcome to X. Okay. How would you know my X though?
Sorry, welcome to X. Sorry.
Yeah, that's the service.
You're Michelle.
I'm Michelle.
Well, we wouldn't actually know that he's Michelle at this point, I think. But
So far, the
That's
only
true,
the only
yeah.
thing you've asked for is my
yeah.
email. You haven't asked for my name or anything.
Unless you've connected through LinkedIn, in which case I
Right.
guess it would pull your information.
It would pull everything here.
Yeah.
Will Patrick, company name. I mean, I'd be a freelance writer. I wouldn't have a company. I was a freelance writer. And this here, need more info before signing up. This is really past the point. Like, I'm already here. Like, I'm filling in my info, and I'm really excited about this. So, if the need more info is something that's really important, and there needs to be a call to action earlier, that's more prominent. It also, there's a really weird visual weight because need more info is on the left side near the bottom and there's nothing on the other side. I'd expect the need more info before signing up to show up. Let's see if I can, okay. To maybe show up here as a pop-up. I know that a lot of people block pop-ups, but that's where I'd expect to see it, or just below let's get started. It just keeps following me around. Upload writing sample up to 10. I guess this is where I'd upload my samples. I don't know what this chicken scratch would be, unless that's the terms of service that I agreed to previously.
No, it was, I put that in there to, if there's any other more fields that we need to fill out, if you can think of any more that you might need to fill out for freelance writer.
For the beginning, no. Just because it says languages, I wouldn't expect it to be an input field. I expect that to be a drop down, or to so you could check multiple things. People may enter, like I would write English and Francais. I wouldn't write English and French. And if people are searching and that's supposed to be like a term, that would really mess things up. Yeah, company name is pretty prominent. There's LinkedIn again. No, the website's good. I mean, it depends on whether or not you want an individual or a like more of like a consultant or a firm crowd. So then, after I filled in all this stuff, I think it's interesting to have this stuff in the login process, in the top right-hand corner. I'd expect to see that after I've gone through the onboarding process, once I've actually been converted. Because if I bail right now, then, yeah. Whoa. Okay, this is really small.
We have multiple people
Yeah.
designing different pages.
Okay.
So before you get started on this, I
Mhm.
guess if you could just go back and just click back in the actual browser.
Boom.
Yeah, sorry about that, it's confusing. So if you saw these icons, would you assume that sort of by putting in your email, you're already signed up, and this information you're adding is kind of like almost like an add-on to your profile? Like there's like a different level of completeness, I suppose, completion.
Yeah, so the first name, last name, company name stuff seems to be just like crossing the T's and dotting the I's. I've already given my email and the password over.
Yeah.
Generally, what I'd expect is a little vetting process where they'd say it's like go check your email and click on the encrypted link that we send, or like the one-time link we send, so that we can confirm that this is actually like a used account and you are a human. Before coming here. In my experience, that's been fairly universal. But if you signed in with LinkedIn or Facebook, I can see just immediately going to this, because
Okay.
then they have all your information already.
Yeah. So now, if between the submit page and this page, if you had a page sort of telling you before you can really get started and get work, you have to do a test, you have to do a writing test, how would you feel about that? And have you ever had to do something like that?
So it depends on the service. So there are some social media sites, or there are some headhunter, like freelance writing headhunter firms that require you to send in samples.
Yep.
But the number of people they have is, like, they have people to do that. If they wanted me to do a writing test, I'm not sure what they would be testing. I personally know about editing, proofreading, grammar, and the difference between all of these things, but I know a lot of freelance writers who don't. Being an editor and being a writer are distinctly different things, though a lot of people think they're equivalent. I don't know what would be tested.
So things like, so out of, it's going to be an automated test, so it's not kind of like a free form and picturing, like, let's say if it was multiple choice and saying which one of the following 4 questions is the correct sort of spelling and grammar and things like that.
Okay.
So something that the computer can kind of gauge whether you pass or fail. So that would sort of be the test. And if you had a test like that, how long do you think, like if it told you it's going to take 20 or 30 minutes of your time to complete and you're going to be timed, would you do it?
I probably wouldn't do it at that point because it's not testing my writing. It's testing my like grammar and linguistic skills.
Okay.
Which I mean, in particular I'm good at. But I know that like most people, the other freelance writers I've met never did things like grammar trees. They wouldn't know the difference between who and whom. Whom is being used in the dative and accusative, and who is being used in the subjective. So if you're asking those sorts of questions, people may intuitively guess, but that is really based on their personal experience with the English language. It's not a taught thing.
Okay.
Like in school in Canada, that's not taught. They may learn that if they go to one of the many editor certifications. Like there's a Canadian Editors Association. There's also there's also a Writers Association. So if they have any of those certifications, they may know those sorts of things. But a lot of freelance writers don't do that. So that would be a big bar to pass.
So you think the differentiating factor between, say, you, a professional writer, and somebody who's just says, I'm going to just try writing, and maybe they're not necessarily qualified, would
Right.
be your sample work?
The sample work is what I've seen to be the largest. So another writing freelance writer website is called Upwork.
Yep.
And what they do is they take, I think they changed. I think they now have a test, but they used to only have, and now they have a test and samples.
Yeah.
And previously they only used to have samples.
Okay.
And that's,
a whole bunch of tests, actually.
yeah.
Editing, rating.
So it's really changed. Originally there was a smaller team and they were just kind of trying to build up professional writers who they could count on, and they knew that they were good. But once they started hitting that exponential growth, they couldn't read every single, they didn't have the time to do it, so they started implementing those things. And I stopped freelance writing after they started implementing those, but I didn't have to do them because I was already in. I think they do that. I think they did that because of the lack of time they had and kind of the critical mass that they hit. The sites that don't have tests are a pain in the ass because, or that don't accept samples, or you don't need to be recommended into, are a pain in the ass because people charge whatever the hell they want. So generally, if I wrote 500 words, that would usually be between $50 and $100. But on these open sites, people go like 10 to 25 to 30. They really lowball, and writers who go on those websites will accept those prices, which really skews the market on those places, and they're just terrible to find work. Because if I did like 5 to 10 cents a word.
Yep.
And if I was editing and proofreading and depending on the amount of research I do, then I'd increase the cent per word, but that
Then
on
it shows them.
on those sites, then that doesn't matter to people.
Yep.
They want clickbait and that sort of thing. So if there was a test, then the explanation for the test and the reasons for having it would have to be made clear before, really before the sign up.
Okay.
And I know that you're trying to call to that with the learn more, but I mean, this again, this is before signing up, so I still don't think this is a sign up yet.
Yeah,
But,
so there's-
Ask a Pro reviews, like if your site operates differently, like I didn't know there'd be a quiz. I don't even think there's anything about a quiz on the front page. No. So that may be, and instead of a header image, you could actually have the trailer video or the how it works video, like that could be interesting. It just kind of starts playing once you get on. Let's go back. Okay, submit.
Yeah, so if you could just go back to the dashboard.
All
Sorry,
right.
it's too small. But if you could just kind of like talk through what you're seeing and what you think.
Okay, so at the top left, I still have financial advisor option. I don't think someone would be both a financial advisor and a freelance writer. We have, one new message. That's probably a hello message, thank you for joining our service. There's also a bell, which I guess would be for notifications. But I don't know, from looking, what the distinction is. I don't know why there's a difference. There's a profile here. There's the settings, and then there's a log out or exit. Welcome, Michelle. I don't know why the image is so big, or what. I don't know what would be in that space. I'm guessing an image with a profile picture in that circle. And then we have dashboard, open assignment, and in the open assignments, there's the words, and I guess that would be the company? Compar? Oh yeah, company. Okay. It's squished. So that, Manulife, ABC, Manulife. So, and that's the word count, and that would be the different, so I can click some of these.
Yeah, just not yet.
No, not yet. View more detail, okay. And then these are the ones that are assigned to me. That wording is weird,
Okay.
because they're not like my projects. They are projects that have been assigned to me. That kind of takes away the agency.
Okay.
I mean, I was a freelance writer because I wanted to take the jobs I wanted. I didn't want to listen to the man, but I ended up having to listen to a lot of men. And so that wording kind of strikes me.
So if you could choose whatever, what do you think that table sort of shows?
Which
Aside from, will it be assigned to you, like aside from?
I mean, it shows the due date, and I do like how it's labeled today. March is kind of vague.
Yeah, it's squished.
And then status under review and progress pending, and I like that. So that is useful, and as long as the due dates are rated by like priority,
Yes.
then or closeness, that's good.
So if you could call it something else instead of assigned to you, what would it be?
My assignments,
Okay.
your assignments,
Yeah.
depending on the voice that this website takes. Because I mean, it says welcome Michelle, so I assume that the website has a sort of voice, so it could be your assignments.
Okay.
Instead of open assignments, if there's some sort of algorithm that determines this, it could have like assignments for you or assignments you might be interested in.
Okay.
Something to give it some character.
Yep.
Because I mean, I don't use Slack, but I really like how it has its own little personality. So then.
So if you wanted to see more detail for your assignments, where would you click? The ones that are sort of the ones that you've already picked up.
These ones, I would either click on here,
Huh?
or I would click view more detail. I mean, for individual ones, I just click here.
Okay, I guess we haven't linked it to. And if you wanted to kind of get more information about the open assignments, kind of like what's new, if you could just click view more.
I would scroll to the top, but I would click view more detail.
Yeah, sorry, I have to make you do this just because the way the assignments are currently linked,
Ah, I see.
and we're sort of a little short on time, which I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem.
But yeah, this is sort of the expanded list of what the open assignments are.
Mm-hmm.
If you can, how do you feel about that list, sort of what you're seeing there and.
Whoa, short article about safe investments due today? That's not happening. I would never do that.
Okay.
That's that is a shit show waiting to happen. Yeah, I mean, and I don't know the time, but I would never do that.
Okay.
I assume tomorrow would be March 5th. So, 800 words by March 5th. That. So, any.
Just a side note that Karen's calling one back in.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, okay.
So for some of these,
Do you want to just
they're pretty
maybe
close.
pause it?
Yeah. Sorry.
That's okay.
I think you already gave us a lot of very useful
Yeah.
information. I'd love to keep going,
Can I click
but I'm
other
also
things?
mindful and respectful of your time, so.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Karen's calling us back into your.
Proposal. Yeah.
Wondering
then
why
you
I
have to
got
write
so
your
quiet.
proposal, Submit.
Yeah.
And then it takes me back here. Oh, is this here?
Yes.
Oh my, no, this is new.
No, oh god.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you could click actually on the like in the open assignments, remember how you could hover over one of the assignments, I think this one, so you got it.
Yeah.
So if you could notice how that's.
$1 per word. Holy shit.
Yeah,
I do
you're
that.
gonna make a ton of money.
Usually it's the writer that sets the compensation.
Yeah.
And it's, I mean, for these it's weird because in these open environments, generally the person who's asked, like they say like what the most they're willing to pay, but generally, like if you're doing it through networks or through headhunters or through more private sites, it's generally the writer who values the amount their word is worth. And there are some, especially some of the longer projects that I've done in the past where they'll say it's like, oh, you're writing 10,000 words about how the recent French school, like French, recent bills in Quebec will affect private schools there. And we are just giving you X amount to do this. And usually it's a lot better than being paid any number per word.
Mm-hmm.
But that I haven't seen those sorts of things on these sorts of sites.
Yeah.
But a lot of these are, a lot of these are the smaller things that you tend to find. I didn't see anything more than 1,000 words.
Yeah, and what do you think you're gonna find in the resources?
I don't know. Maybe their brand style guide or something. Style guide, there we go. Editing checklist, compliance checklist. Writers usually don't. It's a specific. I mean, I didn't do financial writing, but it's a very specific person that, I mean, usually someone at the bank would do the compliance.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wrote like legal stuff, and bilingual stuff, so I would send that to them and they would have someone who would look at that and make sure that everything that I said met compliance for their magazine.
Okay. So even if you had a little checklist sort of to just prep you to say, you know what, if I sort of go through this checklist to say,
Karen requests your attention immediately,
Okay.
and Richard, she's asking for you.
Oh, in particular.
Okay.
All right, I will stop
well,
session.
we're actually, yeah. Okay, so I'm just gonna walk you through your scenario.
Great.
So you are a freelance writer.
Okay.
And you've come to the site looking for some kind of credible freelance writer work.
Cool.
So just by looking through it, what do you think you're gonna find here? I sort of gave it away a little bit, but what do you kind of think the service is just by looking at it? And if you wanted to learn more, where would you go on this page to find out what the service is? And feel free to scroll around and explore.
I would probably read the company statement here because it just tells me that's what it is. So I'd probably read that to know what I was doing here. But assumably I would have Googled or done something to got here, so I would have a bit of knowledge of the premise of the website. I don't know if I just type in some rando content site without having some idea of what that is. So if I want to find out more information at this point, I'd probably click on the Get Started button. Do you want me to click on that?
Yep, go ahead.
Great. So in this case, you said I'm the freelance writer, so I would blah, blah, blah this section over here. And I cannot do that. That's fine. And then I would click Submit.
Okay.
So I would complete this. Blah, blah, blah. Need more info. Reviews. Okay.
And if you needed some help throughout the process, where would you go? Would you need help?
I think right now I wouldn't need help.
Okay.
If I click back on your browser, does that screw something up?
No, I think you
Okay, I didn't want to screw up the test.
No, that's fine.
Password, confirm password. Okay. I think it's interesting you asked for my LinkedIn contact.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is hard for me because I'm not a content writer, but right now I'd be like, no, go away. I don't know why you want that. It's a little too much. That's
Okay.
just for me. And we all know that I'm kind of crazy about privacy. Upload writing samples.
If
Okay.
one user is weary about it, somebody else will be
Yeah.
too. So
Yeah, I'm a loon about this though. All right, so I submit this. Does this really get so tiny or is this just a fluke?
If you want to, I'm not sure how you do it on a Mac. I think yes, these screenshots were done by me, so they are a little smaller.
Okay, but that's just not, it's just a fluke with the test. Yeah,
It is,
okay.
yes.
So, I've now explored. What would you like me to do?
So you get once you get to this point, if you could just tell me what you see and what you think the features are, kind of.
Sure.
Like going around.
Clearly I have some sort of messaging service in here. I, as a user of any platform, really dislike that in some cases, unless it's like Facebook, because I just want the email to come to my email, or at least have the option to forward it to my email, so I don't actually have to log into your service unless there's a point.
Okay.
I'd probably get discouraged from using it if I had to, because I'd be like, oh, it's so annoying, I could go, and if it's 0 all the time, then that's really discouraging, and so I probably would just ignore it.
Okay.
I can see that there's open assignments and things that have been assigned to me, which I'm interested in because I don't know why they were assigned to me. Like, did somebody tell me I have to do these, or did I choose them? So are they my personal assignments, or was I instructed by somebody to do them?
Okay.
So that's what I think this screen is.
Okay. Now for the icons at the top, so where you have the message, what do you think the others mean?
Notification. Maybe this is a meeting, and this is settings, and I don't know what that does.
what do you think it could be?
Well, to me, that one, it goes to the next screen, but I don't know what that is. So I think it reminds me of when banners go and you can
Yeah.
Karen's like, now I know why they wanted you to talk. You just tell them all sorts of crap. What can I do for you now?
Yeah, so if you wanted to, so as a writer, your point of coming to the system is to pick up work and to get
Yes.
assignments because that's how you get paid. So if you wanted to find new assignments for yourself, where would you go?
To open assignments. I think clearly that is clear to me that those are the things that people need work.
Okay.
So I'm gonna click on this one because it said it could. I guess for me, how do I make this assignment my assignment?
Okay.
I don't know. Am I bidding on it?
Yeah.
It says $1 per word, but if I just start writing,
Yeah.
am I hired?
So I think if you could just navigate back, 'cause I think this maybe is a fluke in the way things are linked.
Okay.
So if you wanted to see maybe beyond that list, if you can click to view more detail
Mm-hmm.
and now click that assignment.
Oh, a fluke. Okay.
Sorry, this.
No, no,
is a
these things
surprise.
happen.
Okay.
It's okay. No worries.
For publication too.
Excellent job, Irina.
Yeah, this is the same sheet.
Nice guiding people through and calm and
Let's go. Great. So I'm applying for the job.
Yes.
Okay.
So if you wanted to apply for it now, where would you? So this. So what do you think? That section at the bottom where there's.
I assume that's a conversation starter, very much like private messaging on LinkedIn or what Facebook would be. And then the submit proposal button is, I'm assuming, where I would submit for the job.
Mm-hmm. And if you, so there's like a little tooltip there, like if that just happens when you hover over the person's name, what do you think that would give you? So that, yeah.
A clearly feedback to me, because I can see it. I think it's feedback about that employer, right? So like 100%, 7 reviews working for this employer. They're gonna pay me. They're gonna be legit.
Okay. Is there any other information you'd like to know up front about that individual, or is that sort of enough to give you that?
I think it would probably be enough, because I'm assuming this blah 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 stuff here it gives me a little more information about the assignment.
Okay.
Because like to me, affordable locations for young people and young professionals. Who am I writing for? I'm writing for CIBC, but am I writing for a C by C Facebook page? Am I writing for CIBC's formal blog? Am I speaking to what I mean? Like I don't know if I maybe want
Context.
Yeah, a little bit. Mostly just because, well, we all know how I write. I probably shouldn't write for like really professional people. I probably should write more for like people like us.
Okay.
So that would be me as a personal thing.
Okay.
I want to click this because it's green, should I? I don't know what this compensation button does. I'm going to tell them how much I want. Oh, I see negotiable. I guess if I was used to negotiating, that would be okay.
Mm-hmm.
If I was just starting out, I wouldn't want anything to do with that.
Okay.
Because I'm going to set a bar for myself, and I don't know if that's an industry standard. So even if there was a suggested rate,
Okay.
an article like this might be worth $250.
Mm-hmm.
Are your price higher or lower? Can you justify that, right? Because if I'm 25 years in, I might say, oh, well, but I don't care if it's worth $250. I can write a killer one for you. It's $400.
Yeah. So would you be discouraged by if it said negotiable in the compensation? Would you
I'm
rather
always
see something
really
very-
annoyed about negotiable, right? Like, do you think, to talk to all of you, like, you think if when you're applying for a job and it's always like, what's your salary expectations? That's the worst. Because, like, you generally have a range, but, like, what if you're not really near the, the ballpark? Like, I prefer when employers say, 40 to 50,000. You're like, okay, that's a range. I can tell you within that range, but it's weird, I think, without context.
Okay. So pretend that you want to take this job and pretend you submitted all the fields. If you
There's no way for me to attach anything to here.
That's
Yep.
okay. You're writing it down.
Because I probably wouldn't dump it in this little box.
Yes. No. So if you wanted to have attachments on that in that window, what would you expect?
Because what if I had like a similar article? Or what if I had an article that I was like, I've already created an article and it could be used in this capacity. Here it is. What do you think that's worth? Maybe then they can get the article for instead of $250 for $200. I can make a quick $200 and I haven't done anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm skeezy like that, so.
Okay, so that's where it took you when you click submit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you can go to if you can click dashboard again at the top of the screen, would that let you? Nope, just lower, just over the.
Below the welcome, Michelle.
Yeah, so just.
Below the welcome, Michelle. Yes,
You're
thank
Michelle.
you. That's fine.
So if you can click on affordable vacation now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you got the job.
Okay.
This is the screen. Can you walk me through what you're seeing now, as opposed to what you saw before?
Sure. So now I'm saying the compensation I have. I have a word count of 500 to 700 words. I have a due date. I guess I need a resource.
What do you think you're going to find when you click that?
Probably some branding nonsense, or the way we speak to our customers is always Mr. or Mrs. or whatever the crap they want me to do. That's what I would think. Like, I mean, like any sort of specific requirements for working for CIC.
Yeah. Okay, you click that. Hope it takes you where I think it takes you. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that makes a lot of sense. I think if I was a writer, this would annoy me, but that might be personal. Does that make sense? Like, it'd be like style guide, editing checklist, oh my god, blah, blah, blah. Like, so now you're paying me $1 per word, so I have to feed you $1 per word, plus now I have to go do all this crap?
Yes.
I may be regretting that $1 per word if I don't realize that there's all these standards prior to doing that. But I don't know if that's because I'm not a financial advisor writer, or if that's...
Okay. Yeah, no, that's a good question.
I don't know, right? Because I'd be like, oh, come on, really?
Yeah.
Now I have to, like, do this. And I don't know, for me, study guide is kind of offensive.
Stop it.
Oh, that's better.
But yeah.
Thanks.
Do you guys have any other questions for Natasha?
No.
Do you have any questions for us?
I don't think so. I think my only comment is like if you could find, and that's something like I know you can't force like the employers. I really hate the negotiable compensation. I think I'd be discouraged, especially like I said, because it's a crapshoot. Like, what if like everybody on here is only offering like $250, but I'm a $500 writer? I'm not interested.
Yeah, and it kind of turns that into more of like a bargaining, which.
And then how long are you gonna barter for $500? Like that's not. I don't want to barter for $500. Like it's such a small fee. Like you want to negotiate your salary of thousands, but I don't want to barter for $500. I want to be like, if that's what you're paying, I'm either in or I'm out.
I need that for my
Okay.
house.
Is
Awesome.
it?
Thank
Is
you.
there anything else? Okay.
No, I think we're good.
So this is pretty much our website. We just want you to comfortably like go through the website, see how it is. Your goal is to look at the financial advisors.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're exploring the financial advisors section of the website, just consider some of the questions on the board. Like what do you think of the site? How do you find out what the site's about? And these are little details you keep in mind as you explore the website.
Okay. So my goal is to I need to find a financial advisor for myself.
Well, I think we want to
No.
go in this
Yeah, I think we wanna
particular
go in
order.
So
Oh,
first
okay.
of all,
Just browse
yeah,
around.
before we get there, think of yourself as a financial advisor.
Okay.
So you have, I guess you have your own clients, you wanna find someone to create content for you. So
Mhm.
you come across this website specifically with the idea that you want someone to generate high quality content for you that's gonna be compliant.
Yeah.
So the first thing, like when you open this website and when you see it, what do you think? What do you think of the website and what do you think you're gonna find here?
Well, first of what I see is there's a lot of stuff.
Okay.
I think there's I would probably click the get started button.
Mm-hmm.
I
What do you
just
think
probably-
you're gonna find there?
Well, I don't know at that point, but
Mhm.
since there's a lot of can I go back from somewhere
Yeah, if you press the arrow.
here?
Or the back arrow.
Oh, okay.
Never
Oh
tell
yeah,
them
sorry.
anything. Which is hard, but what I would do in this situation is that where do you think
The back
you would go
arrows.
back?
Yeah.
Because you want to
okay.
figure out if he can find
Yeah.
it. You know it.
Yeah.
It's so hard.
So yeah, I would just, if it's my first time visiting it, I would just naturally probably click the get started because it's rather big icon, and I don't really know if I want to log in yet because I don't know if I need to do that.
Okay. And
Um,
now, if before you log in, if you wanted to just learn a bit more about the site before you commit, where would you go? Like, where would you find more information about the service?
I probably like in here if I don't really see anything here directly. If I'm a finance advisor, I would probably click there because if I'm a finance advisor, I want to go there and see what's there for me. It's like obviously it's not clickable now, but if I wouldn't find stuff from it, I would probably just go back to this page, or go back to the front page and try to scroll down to see what's in here. Okay, so there's a tutorial. So if it's my first time visiting, I would just probably check this one out, like what's it about, if it's on this page. But I still think that I would first click the get started button
Okay.
if it's my first time visiting here.
Okay. Okay, so if you can just go ahead and try to sign up.
Oh, sign up.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm a finance advisor, so I would just put my stuff in here. So I'm assuming that I would have the information ready for me, or
No, oh, so this is when I create my stuff, right? So I put my email and I create my password and confirm my, oh yeah, okay. Yeah, I have read nothing. Oh, and I can connect with these. I would say that if I'm a finance advisor, I would probably not want to connect with the social media, because if this is a business and I'm like a representative business, unless I have a professional account, maybe on LinkedIn, but I don't still know how I would use LinkedIn on this service. I would just have to prefer to create my own credentials, which are not related to my like personal life at any level. But yeah, I would definitely click through here.
Can I interrupt for a second? How do you feel about the layout of that page?
I think it's pretty good because it's like there's two options, and since I'm a financial advisor, I instantly know that this section is for me.
Okay.
If I'm a freelance writer, this is not me. Since it's not for me, I don't really even pay attention to this part, which is pretty much what it's made to be. I like that the menu stays up there. Yeah, there would probably be some description tests. Yeah, like overall I think it's good. I think one of the things, because I first, as I mentioned, I wasn't sure if I had the credentials or not, so I would maybe incorporate some sort of like, because even Carrie mentioned about heuristics about the, like guiding the user or like help, because now this help section is like down here. So if I'm looking at the screen, I didn't pay attention to this at first, for example, before I scrolled down now. So if it would be somewhere closer to the part where the help will be needed, let's put it that way, that could be useful. But I like the fact that there is like a help section on the page. But yeah, but I like the fact that it's been separated to whichever type of user I am. So I will. Can I move on?
Yes.
Yeah. So I submit. Okay. Please fill in your info below to get started. Okay. So I put my first name, last name, and my company. So if I'm a finance advisor, is it that I'm an independent one, or if am I working for a company, or is this mandatory field?
That's a good question.
Yeah, that kind of like came to my mind first. Like I have a first name and I have a last name, but I don't necessarily have a company, or maybe I do. I don't know. And I like the fact that the information is here again. I will see maybe this screen being somewhere over here. Because I'm assuming this is just text right here, this black stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's gonna actually be more like fillable areas. We just weren't sure what else a financial.
Okay, so
advisor would need
there
to
will
fill
be
out.
some also this will be something you would have to fill up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I think the place for this will be better over here, like next to the whichever fields are being filled, because I think it's kind of lonely over here. But I like the fact that it exists again, because if you have a problem, you can just like go. Would this direct you to additional site, or would it be like a pop-up, or like if I have a question or a problem?
Initially, we were thinking of having it link to another web page, like I have another web page open. But what would be ideal for you? Do you think?
I think it's if I would have a problem with this and I would click something, I would want it to be on like opening a new tab, so that I would still be able to stay on this page. The second option would be to have sort of like a pop-up, like it just like pops in front of the window and you would see like reviews over there. I don't think in this case necessarily the drop down menu would work because you already have the stuff here. But sort of like that, it would just pop in front of the screen and you just could read the reviews, or there would be like a form for Ask a Pro or something like that, or contact information, or I don't know how would that work. But yeah, anyways, that the point is that it would stay on this page, so it wouldn't be directed out of it. Oh, and I didn't even see there's an upload feature. So would this cover the whole image area, or would there be like a background image and you would have your image in the circle? That's what I'm assuming, at least. Yeah, okay.
Image in the background with your profile in the middle.
Okay, cool. You have any more questions on this?
You keep going.
Yep. Okay, so now I'm assuming I'm inside the portal or website or okay, and I needed to find financial advisor. It was that? I need to find a financial advisor. Was that the task? I already forgot.
So you were a financial advisor?
Oh yeah, and I was someone to produce the content, sure.
So what do you, when you look at this screen, what do you think it does? What do you think is the purpose of what you're seeing?
It's the main page of the, I'm gonna call it portal. I don't know what you wanna call it, but it's like the place where you log into. There is, and it's your personal, because there's ongoing assignments. So this is like like a task list technically, and this one I don't.
Yes.
I'm tall.
That's crazy. Okay, well, no, that's fine. And I don't really know for sure what is the difference between these two. Like, I understand ongoing is something that I have on my task list that I need to do. Is the open assignment something that I can just pick up and take for myself if I need? Okay, yeah. This is maybe a bit confusing, the difference between these two. But I guess if I click further, like I would click further in either case. If I wouldn't understand what's going on, I would just click more details and hope that there I will just find what I'm looking for, just to basically test it out. Other feedback I can give on this is, I'm assuming this is like supposed to be like quick icons to access quick stuff like alerts, messages, like user lists, settings, and this is a logout probably. So I will move these maybe on top of the header of the image, so they wouldn't be sort of like within the image, because obviously the image will have to be designed so that it suits the icons, but I don't know if there's a chance that it might get lost in the image. yeah, other than that, well, this seems pretty straightforward. Okay, so this is probably the next step. Okay. So these are, okay, so I guess Karen knows, oh, I can click that. Oh, but now, oh, okay, so I went back quite a few steps. But, yeah. So I'm assuming that will actually take me back to this page. Or, because technically if I'm signed into the portal, if I click the logo, I shouldn't be redirected to the main page. I should be directed to the home page of the portal. Or, yeah. So, okay, there's the list of the tasks. Overview in progress. Delayed. Complete post offers. Get match. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I had no idea what this was gonna be about get match. But I just clicked it because it seems interesting. And I'm assuming that this is something that I will, because if I'm looking for financial content creator, that I need to find someone who meets the criteria I'm looking for. So I would input this information here, and then get a match for my. So is this like a I would say, is it an advanced version of search? Oh, yeah. Yeah, so okay, well that's kind of a nice feature. I would just probably name it or explain. Obviously, it's still a wireframe, so there's no text to explain what it is, but I would maybe focus on that it will explain what the matching means, sort of thing. And that I'm assuming I've filled out the information for that too. Okay, so yeah, but this seems pretty cool, pretty straightforward. Might worry with you. Yeah, because it's like either I select this person. Oh no, I need. So I would select it from here, and I would message. I would add this person, right? So I will maybe add text next to the icons, and if I'm assuming that this is for to just accept this, or would I first contact this person and then I'm kind of confused a little bit what this acceptance means. But anyways, if it has to do with that I need to accept this person, I will maybe move it over here somewhere. So if I'm actually I need to have a primary action, I would put it probably over here somewhere. Okay, so I guess I can't click anything but the logo from this page. So I'm hoping I'm not. Okay.
We're learning a lot from you.
Yeah. So yeah, I will be here again if I would go back. So yeah, maybe incorporating because the logo is, I like the idea that it's for like start all over again type of a button that you would just go back. I would maybe even on top of that have the logo there, I would have a button maybe in the corner or somewhere which kind of will work as a home button, so it will take me to the home. Because logo, even though it's clickable, it's not necessarily the first thing that would come to my mind, that like if I click the logo it will take me back to the home. And second button I would add, I don't know where it will be placed, but sort of like just the back button, so it will take me one step back instead of starting the whole process.
So I maybe not supposed to say anything, but do you think if you had like a breadcrumb menu within your portal, would that help you kind of orient yourself and say, okay,
yeah.
maybe I'm 3 steps in? Is that sort of what you mean, or are you
Yeah.
thinking something else?
It's like, well, personally, and this is just my personal opinion, I hate breadcrumbs because I think it's super ugly. But the ideology behind the breadcrumb is yes, that's exactly what I meant.
Okay.
But even just going, so if let's say if I'm now on this homepage and I will click this one, so instead of, oh no, let's go here. So if I would be on this page, so instead of going back to the portal homepage, if I would just click back, I would go back to the page where all the tabs are.
Yes, yeah.
So basically just take one step back type of a button.
Or even just keeping all the tabs consistently throughout.
Yeah. So I just wanted to try what this is still. Okay. 3 years example. Yeah, well this is if this is a search, I would like there to be the search field or function. I like the fact that this is like, maybe it's just that this is just displaying the results after I've searched, but I think there should be like step in between, enabling the possibility for me to actually do the search. So if say I'm searching for location, or if I'm searching for price, I would actually type that in or select and click like search or something like that, and then this will be displayed. And other thing is also, which this is actually from another project that we had, but it's like, what if I need to have multiple selections? So if I want to sort by experience and price or something like that, if I want to have more than just one filter active, so how would that work? Okay, then there's posts. Yeah, I'm assuming this is just like if I get messages, they will be here. Yeah, I'm not really so I'm sending something out. Oh, one thing that is missing here at least is how do I actually send this? So let's say I write the subject and I like the description, but there's no button for me to send it out. And also, like, if I think about email has also the like receiver address or the receiver field. So I don't know if this system will already know who I'm sending this to. but
We're almost done. 1 minute?
yeah, yeah. So like the person who I'm actually sending this message to. Yeah, but I like this feature, this get matched, because I think it's like a quick search option to me. I would maybe highlight this even more, because I think this is something new, this is something different. Because usually, like, if you go to whichever platform and you do search, you always type in something and then you kind of browse through some stuff and kind of hope that you get something. But I like the feature that if it would just like basically I would input some information and it would kind of skip through the search process and it would just give me like that this is what we recommend to, and maybe if that could be like incorporated, that could be like sort of like a, well, I'm just gonna call it Tinder feature, but you could just swipe like, oh, I don't like this one, so the next one appears. So I would just have, wouldn't have to necessarily stare at the blank result page, but it would just have like a multiple profiles just pop up in the list or something. But yeah, I like the get match.
So I have a question for you.
Yes.
So you're a financial advisor and
Yes.
you want someone to create some content for you, like maybe you want a writer to write a very specific article. Where would you go to put in that request?
A very specific article.
Yeah, so just you have a subject
yeah.
in mind?
Yes.
Like you want it almost like a job description.
Yeah.
Or where would you expect to find it?
A very specific. If I had something very specific in mind, I would probably go to the I would probably go to the search.
Okay.
And in here, I will use this sort of like an advanced search. So I will type exactly what I'm looking for, or as much as I can in terms of what I'm looking for, and then search.
Okay, so you'd approach this by recruiting a writer first and then communicating your request to the person?
Yeah, I would, because I'm assuming that these people, because in here it displays the experience, the sample of work. It's kind of like their profile, what they have been doing,
Okay.
which is sort of like what was in the get match section. So I'm assuming that if I would search based on my criteria, the search as well as the get match would like provide the most relevant results to my search.
Mm-hmm.
So out of those searches, I will select the first one and see if it feels like good to me, I
Mhm.
would say. And based on that, just contact the person or select the second option on the list.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh,
And if you wanted to publish a job and maybe you didn't have a writer in mind, what would you do?
oh, so now I get where the post is here. Yeah. So I would go to the post.
Yeah.
Okay, so in that case, I would. Yeah. So yeah, I would post it here, and post the stuff here as well.
Mhm.
What I would like to have in that case in here is sort of like I would maybe call it like a keyword or section.
Mhm.
So like if it's a specific type of a job, I would probably want to publish it for people specifically able to provide this type of like a work or like experience. So let's say if I'm looking for job advertisement, or if I'm looking for like graphical report. I'm just throwing things out of my head. So I would like to tag it with somehow like that, so it will be displayed to those people when they do the search. So if people will be searching, because I'm assuming that in that case, if I post something here, the content creators are able to come here as well. Oh yeah, of course, because there was the separate login as well. So when they will see that, they will just like, they will be able to search based on their own experience and knowledge. And though it will be easier to match those two in that case. And now I'm actually clicking, I'm guessing this will take me back.
But it wasn't your initial, when you saw a post, that wasn't your initial reaction to, you didn't think that you would.
No, I actually thought it would be contacting someone from here.
Okay. Okay, that's very helpful actually.
Yeah, because I thought that like posts is, I guess I should have like, maybe it's my language skills or something, but I think like because I saw the subject line and the description, it reminded me of email.
Yes.
So I thought I was just contacting someone.
Okay, no, it's not you, we're not testing you.
Yeah.
This is really, really helpful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But one thing that I would like to mention is that many of these pages don't have the sort of like the call to action buttons. So sort of like confirm an action basically. So there's no like post now. Well, there wasn't a search field here, so I could just click like search, and well, here's the button. So that's really good. Here, as I said, I'm assuming that you will fill out the information. So I would maybe highlight that maybe in a form of text or a form of the design, that these are something I need to fill out. Maybe it's just because of the wireframe, but I thought that these were like, I had a brief moment when I wasn't sure if I'm supposed to fill this out myself or if I would have filled out these myself.
Yeah.
Maybe if there would be like empty fields in this wireframe, I would have understood it better. Or if some of them would have been like filled out or something. Yeah. Other than that, that's actually going back to the home page. Oh, okay.
No, it's been very thorough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's very helpful.
Oh, and so this is the calendar, right? So I'm assuming that this will display the same stuff that will be here. So if I would have in progress, like work that would be in progress or stuff that is being done, it would appear in the calendar as well. I will maybe think the position or the location of this, because now it just feels that it's sort of like alone. Maybe even have it as an external tab, so the layout, all this whole thing will be the same, or then just like move it to the icons. But I think that it's just, it's not like, it feels a bit odd that it's in this place. But the calendar is nice. I think it's a nice feature to have, because some people prefer seeing it more visually.
You want to make sure that at some point you switch users. I know
Yeah.
you've done an excellent job. You have a lineup of people out
I
here.
know,
but-
sorry, Natasha.
No, that's good. Just make sure you have a couple of.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
Yeah.
okay, any last thoughts before we kick you out?
No, not really.
Okay.
It's just we did the second project, so I guess that's even more helpful for you, because I had no idea what this is about, so
Okay.
in
That
those
is
terms.
good.
Yeah, that's actually,
Yeah.
I was wondering, I was gonna ask.
Yeah. So yeah, I had no idea what this is like. only just what we've been hearing in the description.
Awesome. That's great. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I need
No
to
worries.
Grab Natasha. She's probably gone now. Thank you for your time.
No worries. I hope disturb someone else.